So viral infections are very important to understand. There are these five important infections we are going to discuss. These are chickenpox, herpes zoster, herpes simplex, warts, and molluscum contagiosum. There are many other viral infections like measles, mumps, and others which have cutaneous manifestations and which we will you will study in other subjects. What is a virus? Virus is a small particle which has a genetic material, core of genetic material surrounded by a protein coat. And it cannot live independently, it needs a host to live and divide. They are classified according to the DNA virus and RNA virus, and DNA may be double-stranded or single-stranded. From dermatological point of view, the most important are the double-stranded DNA viruses, which include pox virus. Pox virus cause the important are variola, which cause the smallpox, which has been eradicated. Monkeypox, vaccinia, mollusky pox is very important, which cause molluscum contagiosum. Then herpes family. The viruses of herpes families are very important. HSV1, HSV2, HSV3, HSV4, 5, 6, these are all herpes virus. HSV1 and 2 cause herpes simplex. HSV1 causes the herpes labialis, while HSV2 cause genital herpes. Varicella zoster virus, which cause chickenpox and herpes zoster, is called HSV3 infection virus. So coming to varicella zoster virus. Varicella zoster virus is a herpes virus, which is double-stranded DNA virus. It causes two types of infections. The primary infection, if the patient has a first exposure with the varicella zoster virus, he will develop chickenpox. And with recurrent infection, or the after many years, the patient will develop herpes zoster and shingles because this virus remains dormant in dorsal root ganglion. So, varicella is or chickenpox is caused as a primary infection in a person who is not immune or has not been uh, has not suffered before. It will cause chickenpox or varicella. After many years, the uh, as the virus remains dormant in dorsal root ganglion and it may get activated by any triggering factor, and it will cause varicella zoster or herpes zoster, which involves the one dermatome. So reservoir of this virus is human. Transmission is airborne droplet or direct contact with the lesion. The pattern, it shows a peak in winter and early spring. Its communicable period of communicability starts 2 days before to 4 to 5 days after the onset of rash. You can see a beautiful kid with chickenpox. There is respiratory transmission of virus. The virus replicates in nasopharynx and lymph nodes. There are repeated episodes of viremia, and with each episode of viremia, there will be appearance of a new crop of vesicles. Incubation period is 14 to 16 days. Initially, there is prodromal phase of 1 to 2 days of fever, chills, malaise, headache, anorexia, severe backache, sore throat, and dry cough. And later on, the patient will develop the rash. The rash usually presents in various stages. The initial lesion is a small macule, which will turn into a papule, then into a vesicle, then into a pustule. Then there will be crusting of that pustule, and eventually shedding. There will be shedding of crust and scar formation. Usually, the cephalocaudal presentation or centripetal presentation. Polymorphism. This is very important feature. Polymorphic lesions means that at a given point in time, if you examine the patient, the lesions will be in different stages of development. And lastly, the lesions come in crops. There will one crop of lesions, then after maybe a day, there will be another crop of lesion, and so on. So you can see there are multiple lesions of the chickenpox. This is the progression of lesion. Initially, it will start as a small macule, then a vesicle, then there will be crust formation, there pustule formation and crusting. Yeah, this is crust. Then there's healing and shedding of crust, and eventually it leaves a scar by day 15. So you can see very well appreciate polymorphic lesions in this picture. You can see some lesions are very small macules. These are papules. These are vesicles. These are bigger vesicles. And then there is appearance of crust. These vesicles have started crusting, and this has crusted. Again, you can see the lesions in various stages of development. There are macules, papules, vesicles, crusting. Again, you can see there are active vesicles, there are macules and papules, and there a few lesions are crusted. So again, smaller lesions, macules, papules, vesicles, and crusting has started. So you can see a patient of chickenpox here, a patient with severe chickenpox, and this patient has necrotic chickenpox with secondary infection. This is very severe type of chickenpox. So the diagnosis of chickenpox is mostly clinical, based on history and clinical examination. Then we can perform Zank smear. In Zank smear, we remove the roof of the blister vesicle and then take scraping from the floor of the vesicle and then make a Zank smear, then stain it with Giemsa and look under the microscope, and there will be formation of giant cells. This is the formation of Zank smear. You can see you spread the scraping from the vesicle over the slide, and you see these are giant cells. These are actually epidermal cells which are infected with virus, and they are fused together to form giant cells. This is histopathology. Again, in histopathology, you see giant cells, the fusion of epidermal keratinocytes. And PCR, cell culture. Complications of chickenpox are important. The most important complication, the most common complication is secondary bacterial infection, which may lead to gangrenous chickenpox. Then the other complications may be post-viral thrombocytopenic purpura, pneumonia, encephalitis, arthritis, hepatitis, and Steven-Johnson syndrome. This is a chest X-ray of a patient with varicella pneumonia. You can see how severe the pneumonia is. The varicella pneumonia is mostly seen in females. Particularly pregnant females are especially predisposed to develop varicella pneumonia. So chickenpox in pregnancy should not be taken lightly. So this is meningitis, inflammation of meninges, and this is encephalitis, encephalitis. In children, no treatment is recommended. Only symptomatic treatment is given, and the lesions heal by itself. In adults, you give acyclovir 800 milligrams 5 times a day for 7 days. And in complicated varicella, you give IV acyclovir in the dose of 10 mg per kg every 8 hours for 7 to 10 days. In pregnancy, also you treat with oral or IV acyclovir according to severity. How to prevent this infection? There are two types of prophylaxis: pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis. As you know, pre-exposure prophylaxis is done with vaccines. A varicella vaccine is live attenuated vaccine, and 2 doses are given in less than 13 years of age. Now, It is usually administered with MMR vaccine. For adults, in persons more than 13 years of age without history of varicella, two doses are given 4 to 8 weeks apart. For post-exposure prophylaxis, varicella zoster immunoglobulins are given, or vaccination may also be done within 3 days of exposure, or and prophylactic acyclovir may be started. Coming to herpes zoster or shingles. What happens after primary chickenpox infection that this virus, varicella zoster virus, uh, which infects the nerves, it remains dormant or sleeping in dorsal root ganglion for years. It is the person is asymptomatic, the person is healthy, nothing happens to the person, but as the immunity in old age or as the immunity of the person decreases due to any factor, this virus will be reactivated. So this reactivation will cause the formation of vesicles in the region supplied by this particular dorsal root ganglion. So there is dermatomal involvement in herpes zoster. You can see there is unilateral dermatome is involved, and there are these vesicles of herpes zoster. Lesions are herpetic lesions. Herpes means grouped lesions. There are grouped vesicles. You can see grouped vesicles or grouped vesicles over erythematous base. The most common dermatomes are T1 to L2 dermatomes or ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve. You see this is T10 involvement. You can see large blisters, vesicles, unilateral involvement, and involvement of one dermatome. This is also herpes zoster. You can see involvement of ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve. And if there is eye involvement, it may be very painful and very severe. Again, you can see grouped vesicles. These are grouped vesicles over erythematous base involving one dermatome. And this is about T8. You can see T4 involvement. You can see vesicles, grouped vesicles. Grouping is very important. You can see one group, another group of vesicles, another group of vesicles, this group of vesicles involving unilateral dermatome. Again, so herpes zoster is caused by reactivation of varicella zoster virus. The trigger factors are aging, immunosuppression, trauma, surgery, or stress. But the herpes zoster is usually self-healing and in immunocompromised healthy adults, but sometimes there may be complication. The complications may be cutaneous, visceral, or neurological. Cutaneous complications include bacterial superinfection, scarring, zoster gangrenosum, in which there is gangrene of the that area, and cutaneous dissemination or disseminated herpes zoster. In disseminated herpes zoster, there is appearance of vesicles or in the other dermatomes or all over the body, and it is mostly seen in immunocompromised HIV patients. Visceral complication, there may be inflammation of any of neurological complications include post-herpetic neuralgia, meningoencephalitis, transverse myelitis, nerve palsies, and others. Post-herpetic neuralgia is a very common and important complication because neuralgia is very disturbing and may persist for some months. Usually it persists for 1 month, but sometimes it may persist for 6 months or a year or many years. Treatment of post-herpetic neuralgia treatment of herpes zoster, it is we give the analgesics, good analgesics because there's pain. Antivirals, acyclovir 800 mg 5 times a day for 7 days. Antivirals are given in those people who are above 50 years. If the person is less than 50 years, immunocompetent, and there are no risk factors. There is no need of giving antivirals. Antiviral, the main aim of antiviral is to decrease the severity of post-herpetic neuralgia, because in any case, if you give the antiviral or you do not give the antiviral, the lesions are going to heal within few days, within maybe 2 weeks. But post-herpetic neuralgia, it is shown that if the patient is given antiviral, the severity of post-herpetic neuralgia is less in those patients. So how you prevent the herpes zoster? Herpes, there is a vaccine called Zostavax, which is given to the people more than 60 years of age, and it this vaccine reduces the incidence of zoster and post-herpetic neuralgia. Now coming to herpes simplex virus infection, or HSV infection. There are two types of HSV, HSV1 and HSV2. HSV is of two types. The double-stranded DNA virus of herpes family. Type 1 HSV is mainly associated with oral and facial infections, while type 2 HSV is mainly associated with genital and rectal infections. HSV1 and HSV2 are characterized by uh, three properties. These properties are seen in almost all the herpes viruses. The number one is neurovirulence, that these viruses have a special affinity to the nervous system. Then latency. Once the person is infected with this virus, the virus remains dormant in the cells maybe for life, and will cause the recurrent infections or reactivation again and again. So the latency is an important feature. So you see, this is herpes labialis. There are grouped vesicles. Again, grouping. Herpes means grouping. Grouped vesicles over erythematous base. Again, you can see herpes. This is genital herpes, involvement of genital area. And if genital herpes is present in the female at the time of delivery, the patient is not delivered by normal vaginal delivery, and cesarean section is indicated because of risk of transmission of herpes to the neonate. Treatment, usually no treatment is required. It is self-limiting infection, and if treated, you give the acyclovir 200 mg 5 times a day. In cases of varicella zoster virus infection, the dose was 800 mg 5 times a day. In cases of HSV, the dose is 200 mg 5 times a day. Other antivirals like famciclovir or valacyclovir may also be given. Then coming to warts, viral warts. A viral wart is a epidermal proliferation caused by a virus called human papilloma virus. Human papilloma virus is spread by direct skin-to-skin contact or by auto-inoculation. Clinical features, the warts are usually brownish color papules. You can see brownish papules with a rough surface. This surface is called verrucous surface. You can see a rough surface. Thus, therefore, the other name for common wart is Verruca vulgaris. These are plantar warts. Plantar warts are quite common. Plantar warts. Plain warts. Plain warts are they are type of warts seen on the face. They are small. They are not verrucous. They are small brownish papules with flat surface. So the other name is flat warts or verruca plana, plain wart. This is filiform wart, the another type of wart because of its shape. can see common wart, the surface, the brownish papules with rough surface. Uh, warts show auto-inoculation or pseudo-Cobner phenomena. It means that if you scratch the wart, and the new lesions will appear in the line of scratch due to auto-inoculation of virus in that line. Again, common warts. You have to remove the warts. The treatment is usually destructive modalities, electrocautery, cryotherapy, topical imiquimod, or ablative lasers. Anogenital warts. Anogenital warts are sexually transmitted warts, and they are included in STIs or sexually transmitted infections caused by human papilloma virus. More than 100 types of HPV have been isolated so far, and about 35 types have affinity to genital sites. Anogenital warts have been linked directly to an increased risk of neoplastic risk in both men and women. There are two types of HPV strains. Number one, low risk, like 6 and 11, in which the infection with these strains are least likely to cause any malignancy, while high risk HPV strains like 16, 18, 33, and 35, uh, they have a higher risk of malignant transformation, that is the STC in male men and women. You can see perianal warts. You see small, rough, filiform warts in the perianal area. This is a huge cauliflower-like growth. These are uh, again perianal warts. And if there is this cauliflower-like growth, this is called condyloma acuminata. So condyloma acuminata is the name given to a wart which is very big, huge, and it has appearance of a cauliflower. This is the genital warts in a female. If a female is suffering from genital warts at the time of delivery, again, you do not deliver her vaginally because of risk of transmission to the fetus. Complications of genital wart. The main complication, the first complication is that the genital warts are recurrent. Once the patient is infected, there are always chances of recurrence of the genital warts after treatment. Then there may be precancerous lesions or there may be squamous cell carcinoma. Pregnant women can transfer to her baby if delivered, and so cesarean sections is required in cases of genital warts in a pregnant female. And if genital warts are not treated before delivery. So to prevent genital warts, there is a vaccine called Gardasil. Gardasil is 9-valent HPV vaccine which prevents against the 9 subtypes of HPV strains. Treatment of anogenital warts, again cryotherapy, electrocautery, topical imiquimod, podophylline, and surgical removal. One important thing is to note that if the patient is suffering from anogenital wart, you have to screen the patient for other STIs, that is syphilis by doing VDRL and do HIV antibodies. So I have put this video of electrocautery. You see there's a probe and electric current, and with the help of this probe and electric current you can remove the wart. Cryotherapy is basically done with liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen is very cold. It has a temperature of minus 196 degrees centigrade, and it freezes the wart. You can see cryotherapy procedure being done. It is a cryo gun which sprays this liquid nitrogen over the wart, and wart is freezed. This freezing of the wart will cause apoptosis of the cells and shedding of the wart in few days. This is CO2 laser, ablation of wart with CO2 laser. You can see this is laser beam light, and the very you, you the removal of wart is very precise. You see, with wart with laser light, they're burning the wart, and then this is the removal of the wart. So coming to another infection, molluscum contagiosum. Molluscum contagiosum is caused by a pox virus called Mollusca pox virus. This Mollusca pox virus is the largest of all the known viruses. It is transmitted by direct skin-to-skin contact or through towels or other items. Auto-inoculation into another site is also possible, and it is also a sexually transmitted infection. Genital molluscum contagiosum are sexually transmitted. So typical feature of molluscum contagiosum is a white to pink papule with central umbilication. You can see central umbilication in all the papules. And if you squeeze that papule, a cheesy white material will come out of the molluscum contagiosum. You can see pinkish papules with central umbilication in all the papules. Again, papules range from 1 to 6 millimeter in size, white, pink, or brown. They have central umbilication and they have a cheesy material inside them. You can see MC very near to the eye, multiple pearly white papules. Again, you can see multiple molluscum and you can see the central umbilication. Multiple pearly white papules and you can see this umbilication in the center here also. Again, molluscum, the pearly white papules with central umbilication. This is genital MC. You can see again a pearly papule and there is an umbilication in the center. This is a patient who came with extensive molluscum contagiosum involving the genital area. You can see these are giant molluscum. And you can see cheesy material coming out of a molluscum also. Treatment of molluscum contagiosum in children, usually molluscum are self-limiting. They may go within 5 to 6 months spontaneously. They may be treated with picking out of the by picking out the soft white core. The other treatment options are cryotherapy with liquid nitrogen, curettage or cautery, destruction by cautery or destruction by laser, and topical imiquimod. Topical imiquimod is an immunomodulator drug. So to summarize all the viral infections. First, we studied the chickenpox. Chickenpox is caused by varicella zoster virus. Incubation period is 10 to 21 days. Rash is polymorphic vesicles. It is self-limiting. If once the patient is infected, patient will be having lifelong immunity. The complications are very important: varicella pneumonia, herpes, and herpes zoster later in the life. And treatment is acyclovir in selected cases. You can see the polymorphic lesions. There are macules, papules, and vesicles. Herpes zoster is caused by reactivation of varicella zoster virus, which remains dormant in dorsal root ganglion. It is usually unilateral. There are grouped vesicles over erythematous base in a dermatomal pattern. Unilateral dermatomal involvement. It may cause a post-hepatic neuralgia, which may be very severe. Exposure will lead to if the patient one any person who is non-immune is exposed to the vesical fluid, he will develop chicken pox, and treatment is acyclovir. Herpes simplex. There are two types of herpes simplex virus, HSV1 and HSV2. HSV1 cause the orofacial infections. You can see herpes labialis here, and HSV2 cause genital herpes simplex. HSV2 is an STD, and if patient has one STD, you have to screen the patient for other STDs, particularly syphilis and HIV. Diagnosis is clinical and may be confirmed with Zank smear, which will show giant cells. Or there are antibody tests by ELISA are also available. Treatment is 200 milligram acyclovir 5 times a day, but they may be self-limiting. In cases of recurrent attacks of herpes simplex, prophylactic acyclovir may be needed. Viral warts are caused by human papilloma virus. The types are common warts, plantar warts, flat warts, and filiform warts. These are brownish papules which has having a rough surface, and treatment is removal of warts by electrocautery or cryotherapy. Molluscum contagiosum is caused by Mollusca pox virus. These are pearly white to pink papules with central umbilication, infects mostly children, and in adults, genital MCs are STD. They are usually self-limiting, and the treatment may be done by cryotherapy, chemical cautery, or electrocautery. Thank you very much. That's all. Now you can go